In this tutorial, I will show you how a decision matrix can be used to solve a decision problem. Say you have a job that you are not very happy with. After some interviews, you have received multiple offers. Now you need to decide if you should quit your current job or not, or which job offer you should choose. So, how do you judge a job? You must have some objectives, like the job that pays more salary is more likable. The position that is closer to your home is preferable than another one which is very far from your home. Start the Rational Will application and click the Decision Matrix button. Okay, here we will define our first criteria. Before going into the deep, let me clarify something about the criteria modeling tool. You can have various types of attributes like subjective type, number type, and yes/no type. Say you want your house to be beautiful. How will you measure beauty? It is a subjective type, right? And say you want to minimize the cost of the house. Here, the cost is a numerical type, right? From this drop-down, you can choose the type of your criterion. The first two types, maximize and minimize, are for the subjective and numerical types. These options are for yes/no or Boolean type. The last option in this drop-down is for categorical type. Let's start with your first objective, which is to maximize the hourly wage. It is a number type objective. Let's say the jobs you are qualified for can pay you a range of $50 an hour to $100 an hour. Let's set up the scope here. Now, we need to set up your next objective. Say you like to work from home. You will instead reject the job offer if it is not a remote work. So select must be remote. Say you want a permanent job rather than a short-term contract. But say you do not dislike a contract job either. So you can select should be permanent. If it is a contract job, the length of the contract is also important for you. You do not want a job contract which is just 6 months long. So create another objective. Maximize contract length. Say the typical range of the contract length is 6 months to 60 months. Say you want that your ideal job should be a lightweight job, where you can do trivial works every day without stressing too much. Some jobs want you to work even on the weekends. You do not want those jobs, so you can define an objective like minimize workload. It is a subjective type criterion, so let's choose the subjective type. Another objective can be to work for a good boss. You may define 3 kinds of bosses: good, moderate, and bad. And then you can specify a subjective weight for each type. Okay, we are done with the criteria modeling. Now it is time to decide how the criteria attributes will be combined into a single number. You have various choices. You can use pairwise comparisons so that weight will be calculated for each criterion using the same algorithms that we use for analytic hierarchy process. Then the final score for an option will be calculated based on the weighted sum method. You can also assign a weight directly from here. Finally, you may use a custom expression for combining these criteria. Here you can drag and drop criteria visually to edit your math expression. See that you can use various functions like exponential, logarithm, square root, and many math operators, brackets, etc. You can make the expression as complex as you want. Give a name to your expression if you want. Now, it is time to identify your options. You have an opportunity to keep your job. Enter the job offers you have in your hand. Let's start with your current job. Now enter the facts from the other 2 jobs. Now there can be uncertainty. Say your contract from the first offer can be extended 1 time for 6 more months, which is highly likely. But what if it is not extended? Or what if your contract is even terminated early, as soon as you join, because you faced a problem with a coworker or a toxic environment, Or maybe the job expected a higher skill than what you possess. You can model the uncertainty by checking this uncertain checkbox. Also, you know that your current boss is just moderate. But what about the boss in your new job? You cannot predict until you join. So it is uncertain indeed. Let's make it uncertain. You can specify the probabilities if you have a belief that the new boss can be highly likely to be good or bad. But if you cannot predict, just leave it as it is. According to the principle of indifference, the software will assign equal probabilities to each event. Notice that as soon as you enter or change a fact, the metrics and charts are calculated for you. You can view various metrics and charts to understand the facts, and you can make a decision based on any of the chart or metrics. A standard decision criterion is to maximize the expected value. So based on the higher expected value, you can choose a job as you can from the chart. Are you risk-averse? Say you do not have much money saved in your bank. If for some reason your new boss terminates your contract earlier, then you won't be able to pay your house mortgage or rent even for 1 or 2 months. You do not want to face that situation at any cost. Then you may choose the decision criterion maximum. That criterion is for the pessimist persons who think if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. So the person always treats the worst case. If you choose that criteria, then clearly quitting your current job will not be an option for you. Now think about it. The options are judged based on the numbers you have provided. By doing sensitivity analysis, you can see a variable that is more important to affect your decision than another variable. This sensitivity index tells you changing a little bit of this information can change your decision more than another variable which has less sensitivity index. Now you can save your model. Anytime you get a new job offer, add the new job as an option and make a robust decision. Also, you can get a report in PDF or Excel about the decision analysis. For any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact us at spicelogic.com/helpdesk. Thank you for watching.